Hello everyone and welcome to another brand new video. Today we'll be talking about Mafia 3 and its system requirements. If you played Mafia 2 before, there isn't much that needs to be said about Mafia 3. Mafia 2 was a great open world crime action shooter game which was story rich. It had very positive reviews on Steam. So you can expect Mafia 3 to have a great story with lots of action and shooting in an open world environment. With that being said, let's get started. For CPU, the minimum requirements are Intel Core i5-2500K and AMD FX 8120. Intel Core i5-2500K is a quad-core unlocked CPU from second generation. On the other hand, AMD FX 8120 is an octa-core CPU. I know the minimum CPU requirements look a bit too high, especially for people with something like a Core i3 and FX 6300. But I expect the game to run pretty much on a Core i3 or FX 6300. Of course, you might not be maxing out everything, but I think you'll be able to run the game just fine at decent settings as long as you have a decent graphics card. Also, quad-core CPUs seem to be the new standard for most AAA titles these days. For RAM, you are going to need 6GB of memory to play the game. Memories are so cheap these days and there are absolutely no reasons not to pick up 8GB of memory if you're looking to play most AAA titles these days. But I think the game might run on 4GB of memory if you lower down a few settings. For GPU, the minimum requirements are NVIDIA's GTX 660 and AMD's HD 7870. HD 7870 is similar in performance to the newer R7 370. On the other hand, you have the GTX 660 which is slightly slower than the newer GTX 950. So the minimum GPU requirements are not too high compared to most AAA titles these days. Also, the prices of GPU have gone down quite a bit and you can pick up a decent GPU for spending less than $200. For storage, you will need 50GB of free hard drive space. Now let's move on to the recommended system requirements for Mafia 3. For CPU, the recommended requirements are Intel Core i7-3770 and AMD FX 8350. Intel Core i7-3770 is a 3rd generation quad-core processor with hyperthreading. AMD FX 8350 once again is an octa-core CPU. So the recommended CPU requirements are quite high as well. But you should get some great performance with something like a Core i5-4690 or i5-6600. For RAM, the recommended is 8GB. For recommended GPU, you have AMD's R9 290X and NVIDIA's GTX 780 or the newer GTX 1060. So the recommended GPU requirements are as expected. To max out a game at 1080p with great frame rates, you'll need that much of a GPU power. But with GPUs like the R9 380 and GTX 960, you can expect some great performance as well. If you want to buy the game cheaper than Steam, then make sure to check out the link in the description. Also bookmark my referral link and make sure to use it when buying Mafia 3 or any other game cheap. It costs you nothing extra and gives me a small kickback which helps me keep the channel going. If you like the video, make sure to hit that like button. Also check out other great videos related to PC gaming on the channel. I am AbsTechie and see you later.